Hello, I got an exciting beer here. It's from the brewery at Four Star Farms called Bine IPA. And Four Star Farms grows hops in Northfield, Massachusetts. And a lot of brewers have used some of their hops in their beers over the years, and I've had them. But they use just their own hops and their own wheat. The ones with the stars there are grown at their spot. I guess they don't make their own two row or oats there. But it has Centennial Chaos, which is their own hop variety, and Cascade. So old fashioned sea hops. And Cascade, or no, Chaos, that didn't. There was not much info on exactly what that was like. Their little diagram, I don't know if you've ever seen this diagram, it's like a web and it shows you which flavors the hop kind of has mostly. And this one didn't really show that it had much of any flavors, just some fruit, like some herbal or something. But let's get into it. 6.5% alcohol, and I think the date was on the top of on the can holder, the plastic can holder, but it was definitely well under a month fresh. First time I ever seen this beer anywhere. I'd heard about it, and I got it at Total Wine, so it's probably available around New England. And they make other styles, but this is their hazy double dry hopped IPA. But I assume that this means it's extremely fresh hops because they grow them and then dry them, maybe pelletize them, and then they can use them immediately in their beer. Be cool to try a wet hop beer from them eventually. So, what else to say? It doesn't say double dry hopped on here, but I'm pretty sure the Untapped description did. And it's old school hops. It's piney, it's dank, but it's very sweet citrus, candied citrus smelling. And just like a hint of like licorice. Almost kind of like how basil's a really complex aroma, and a little hint of that is sort of Anna's licoricey, and I think that's what I'm getting in here. Maybe that's the chaos hops. Maybe it's just all using their really fresh hops that have all their oils intact, because hops are just really complex. We often just say citrusy, dank, piney, and stuff like that, but there's a lot of other weird stuff going on. But it's mostly sweet candied orange, but just with that kind of green, dank, slightly menthol, slightly licoricey, but a lot of people wouldn't notice that. It's mostly just juicy grapefruit and orange. Mm-hmm. Even more sweet and citrusy in the taste. Lemon, lime, all the candy citrus flavors. Jolly Ranchers, Starbursts. Really nice. Finish is pretty clean. It seems like they don't use a really expressive yeast. There's not a big crazy esters, banana, or bubble gum, or anything like that. Maybe they just use a pretty clean American ale yeast. I don't know. It's pretty hazy. I did kind of turn the can upside down. I noticed there was some sediment. I had one can of this already, and that's how it took me a while to notice that licorice thing. It doesn't pop out at you. Don't be afraid. But it's mostly the nose. The body is I don't know if it's low carb. There's not much to it. Doesn't seem, I mean, we've got some pretty good lacing there. I want to say it feels flat, but there's carbonation and stuff like that. It's not actually flat, but it just falls flat. Not very fluffy or full. It's kind of soft. And the hops creep up on you. It's really low bitterness, but I'm starting to get some cat tongue. Very, very, very hoppy. Very just covered in dank, kind of sweet, dank honey type type thing going on. Um, Almost reminds me of beers that use like Incognito and these liquid hop products, but this one doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't have a big mouthfeel and stuff like that. It's not a thick beer. It is only 6.5, but you could get more. And I guess it's not super hazy. It's got a little bit of color to it. Oh yeah, and I got some chunks in there, but nothing unpleasant about it. Even with some chunks in there, I'm not getting there's no throat burn. There's no It's not drying out my tongue so much that it's unpleasant. And the fermentation is clean, no off flavors. Mm-hmm. Maybe it helps that they can grow their own hops and then they control all that and they know exactly what product they're going to be using. Um, I guess they've just figured out how to make enough and get good enough hops so they can make a beer like this. This is great. This is a big step forward for New England. Is you can make these. The one thing is, it seems like it's more the classic C hops that grow well in New England. I don't know about Mosaic and Citra and stuff like that. I feel like that is not really being grown here. I assume it's just because you can't grow it that well, but I don't really know. Maybe that stuff's it's trademarked and too expensive to get the rights to do it. I'm not sure on that. I would love to hear a podcast episode interviewing 4 Star Farms about what they're doing here. Yeah, just in the smell, that hint of licorice is really unique. Makes it smell like some kind of complex tea blend. But then the flavor is just really fruity, sweet, bright. And is there maybe a very lightly toasty malt thing going on, but it's just malted wheat, barley, and oats, so nothing that really should add color, but maybe it does have some color just from the boil. If we could just get a little bit more something going on in the body, this would be a really good score, but I give it 4.3. The big thing is that it's really pleasant to drink, and I'm not missing anything except for a big, thick, fluffy body. So give this brewery a try, and hopefully they send their other beers. I'd definitely have to try their other beers. Bye bye.